shocking Asia? Or is Asia merely another world of different attitudes and norms which seem so strange to us because we've been raised in a world of standardized habits and patterns?
A traveling sect from Hong Kong celebrates the Festival of the Monkey God in Singapore's Chinatown.
These mediums sink into their ecstatic trances after the ritual songs and prayers to the spirits. The trance is a universal precondition for paranormal activities. The master of ceremonies chants his formulas and makes his magical preparations, all the while bringing the oil in the iron pot to the boiling point. The celebrants with paranormal abilities reach their states of full possession. That means the spirits they have called have entered them. They step outside. The oil is really boiling by now. The mediums first shove their bare arms into the turbulent hot liquid. Then they pour the steaming fluid over their faces, arms, shoulders, and chests without any apparent scalding. The sect members then re-enter the ceremonial tent, where they shake their possessing spirits off and regain normal consciousness. This act is a serious test of the parapsychological qualifications of those Chinese who practice faith healing and dowsing.
Europeans tend to regard ecstasy and trance states as symptoms of hysteria caused by religious fanaticism or drug abuse. Other cultures give more importance to hypnotic states induced by autosuggestion, acoustic, or other methods. The expansion of human consciousness, increased memory retention, and sensual awareness are but a few examples of what these practices can achieve. The settlement's Bomo, the village healer, sinks into a trance accompanied by the rhythmic songs of the village's boys. In this state, he expects to receive counsel and advice from the gods and spirits which can be of help to his tribesmen. But the Bomo loses his self-control, so the spirits punish him and refuse to help him. These unearthly powers appear to turn to a young woman of the village. Surrounded by chanting and inhaling the sharp smoke of bamboo weed incense, she suddenly springs in to take the Bomo's place. She experiences something of the chimeras and fantastic dream trips of this suggestive magic before she, too, fails at the mission.
These cult phenomena are to be found everywhere. They simply arise out of very basic human needs. The need for identity, belonging, knowledge, power, and overcoming fear. One of the most universal of faith healing practices is the so-called speaking in tongues. Spiritual mediums sunk into deep trance give advice and orders in languages they do not command when in normal waking states. Some speak in dialects and languages that only a few linguists can understand today. Many mediums write, almost automatically, prescriptions and orders in letters and pictographs they never learned. Commands which have to be decoded by scholars and scientists. Here, an Indian faith healer speaks in tongues in a Chinese temple.
People of all religions can find help from a group of young Chinese who feel it their duty to help every person who suffers, no matter what their religion. Everyone is welcome here who believes in some sort of a higher power. These faith-healing men hold full-time jobs as students, teachers, athletes, and office workers. They regard themselves as being merely the agents between the healing spirits and suffering patients looking desperately for help. Their services are free. Their clients are not charged. This is a real social institution, an example of true charity. Again, we see the medium being possessed by a guiding spirit. First, it usually demands some sort of token sacrifice, a piece of fruit or harmless drink. Then, healing powers are released through the medium and transferred to the patient. Perhaps this is all only due to the power of imagination or the so-called placebo effect. But no matter how scientists interpret this phenomenon, the important thing is that the patients themselves are actually helped and healed.
Medicine men and quacks of all shades abound in the paradisical South Sea Islands. Many of them travel from village to village, calling out the sick to assemble in front of them. This particular faith healer makes use of a cosmic stone. He claims it contains puzzling powers of the moon. He transfers these powers to his patients, complementing them with different natural healing methods according to each patient's illness. Like this epileptic here. The most interesting thing is the unexplainable rotation of the black stone, which spins for hours on its own axis without anyone touching it. A mere touch from the bomos brings it to a standstill. Physicists are asked to explain this puzzling phenomenon. Indian fakers, sadhus, and yogis see their life's mission in their own spiritual perfection. Can enlightenment be obtained by aesthetic self-torture and the endless babble of Hyderabad sadhus? Can it be obtained by sticking one's gray head in the sand? It's all rather dubious. Indian holy men have their own ideas for which they'll walk around naked on the streets as they parade to meetings they hold when they think there's something to celebrate. These fakers assume that merciless abuse of all their own bodily senses provides the base for rising above the common lusts of the flesh. Thus, not a moment can pass without the appropriate devotions. Young men of North India undergo these strange spiritual experiences. So do young fanatics in Kanchipuram. They beat themselves with their own fists and metal rings, slamming their faces and upper torsos until they're so weak and covered with their own blood they have to give it up. Self-punishment, penitence, the extremes of human selfishness, or is it merely letting off steam and pent-up aggressions?